Blessings, everybody. Blessings. This is Brother Rembert, man. I'm so excited to be coming to you live once again with another episode here at the Moment of Truth podcast. Man, thank you everyone for your views, for your comments. I've had family members, shout out to my nephew Trey, different ones that have called me and told me how the podcast has been a blessing to them. Also, I want to give a special shout out to my mother, who has been a faithful watcher, uh, Mother Ora Dean Rembert. Thank you, Mom. Love you so much, Mommy. Thank you so much for your watching, okay? Um, I want to give a special shout out to my wife and my children for their love and support as well. And I also want to give a shout out to you, the viewer, for watching and your many the emails and comments and messages that I've gotten from different ones saying how the podcast has been a blessing to them. But I'm not gonna prolong the time. I am gonna ask, however, that if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, that you please do down at the ticker below. Please subscribe to us at youtube.com/at Moments of True Podcast. That's youtube.com/at Moments of True Podcast. If you look down at the light blue ticker down below, you can go on YouTube and subscribe that way. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the power of forgiveness, power in forgiveness, power in forgiveness. Do you understand? Like a lot of us have been, a lot of our blessings are being held up, or a lot of us are staying in vicious cycles in our lives because we do not understand the power of forgiveness. I am one of them. I went through things with certain people and allowed bitterness to set into my heart and allowed unforgiveness to set in my heart. Let me tell you something about unforgiveness, brother. Let me tell you something about unforgiveness, sister. Unforgiveness does not hurt anyone else. It only hurts you and those that are connected to you. I say that again. Unforgiveness does not hurt anyone else but you and the ones that you are connected to. See, when you or I lack forgiveness, when we allow unforgiveness to set into our hearts, then we open up a door for anger. We open up a door for resentfulness. We open up a door for vindictiveness. And tonight, I'm going to quote some scriptures, but I really want to just talk from my own personal experience. And I hope that my personal experience will help some of you all. It's like what Paul said. He said, death works in me that life may work in you. I went through some issues growing up and also into my adulthood that things happened to me in my life. And these things happened and I opened up a door because of anger, because of hurt or pain or whatever. And I allowed bitterness to sit into my heart. Now, the Bible says that sweet and bitter water cannot proceed out of the same fountain, which means is you're either going to be one or the other. You can't be bitter and forgiving at the same time. I'm sorry, you just can't. That's like one part of your body trying to go left, the other part of your body trying to go right. You can't do it. You're either going to go one way or the other. And sometimes what we do is when people, places, and things hurt us, we form a protective barrier in our hearts. We open up these doors and we let these spirits come in, these protective spirits. We let them come in and set up shop. And here's the thing. Now, they will protect you from getting hurt. But when it is time to let go, release, and forgive, because all forgiveness is letting go and releasing. Or when it is time for you to love, it will not let you. And we use the saying of I've been hurt and I'm just real. I don't know if I can love again. No, that's not you knowing that you can't, if you can love again or not. What that is a spirit of unforgiveness that does not want to release you from the past so that you can enjoy your future. How many men and women cannot enjoy a new relationship because of what your ex did? How many ex-husbands, now here it is, now you want to marry a new wife, but now this marriage is going down the tubes because you keep looking at your new wife through the eyes of your old wife, or vice versa? How many of you wives now are looking at your new husband through the eyes of your old husband, and now your marriage is suffering? Or even with church, how many of you cannot enjoy your new pastor because of what the old pastor done? These are things that we have to fix within ourselves. If you here's a good test to see if you have unforgiveness or not. If the person that did, if you think that you don't have unforgiveness, you think that you're a forgiving person, then let the person that did you wrong come in the same room with you. If the person that did you wrong comes into the same room with you, and you feel that them knots on the inside, or you start feeling some kind of way when you see that person, then you have not forgiven that person. You have not. Jesus said that we should pray for them that despitefully use us. He said, if they take our cloak, if they take our coat, we should give them our cloak also. If they compel us to go 1 mile, that we should go two. That we should love our enemies, do good to them that hate us, pray for them that despitefully use us. Now I know it's easy being said than done. Man, look, you're looking at somebody, man, that I know what it's like to be hurt. I mean, listen, I know what it's like to be hurt. You know, I've had preachers that I looked up to come to me and tell me that God has cursed me. I'm talking about people that I looked up to, man. I've had people try to come in between me and my wife, saying that God has cursed him. You go back to him, you're gonna be beat with many stripes. I've Listen, man. I've been taken advantage of by people before, so I know the feeling, and I know the struggle that it is to forgive an individual. But you know what God did for me? God would tell me, "Why don't you do for them what I did for you?" He would tell me, "Do you think that it was easy for me to forgive you after all the things you done?" Think about all the things that we do that offends the Lord on a daily basis. On a daily basis. And he forgives us. Like, so there comes a point in time where it's like, okay, I owe it to the Lord to forgive this person. Sometimes you have to do what you do as unto the Lord. How many marriages are going down the tubes because husbands can't forgive wives? Because wives can't forgive husbands. How many of us are messing our children up because they're watching us? They're watching how we operate under this type of pressure, under this type of scrutiny. And guess what? We're teaching them subliminally, either knowingly or unknowingly. We're teaching our children to be unforgiving, and that thing just goes down the line, holding grudges, holding hurts, holding pains, can't let go of nothing. Here we are now, 2024, and somebody wronged you in 1986. 1986. And every time we see that person, I remember what they did to me back in 1986. That old low down dirty booger. I can't let go. I can't let go of that. But here it is. Now, here's somebody wronged you in 1986. Here it is, 2024. They going on with their life, and we still stuck in the same vicious cycle. Ain't got nothing, can't move forward, can't enjoy that abundant life because we can't let go. Somebody wronged you back in 2009. Here, I'm talking about well over 10 years ago, 2009. We can't let go. I mean, just can't let go. So if we're holding on, you know what, unforgiveness is? I'm gonna show you what unforgiveness is. Unforgiveness is like you being handcuffed to a dead body and dragging that dead body around. After a while, that body gonna stink. After a while, you're not gonna want to carry that weight. But we don't want to cut it loose out of fear, because unforgiveness and fear works hand in hand. If I let go and I open myself up again, what if somebody else hurts me? What if I get disappointed again? What if I get let down again? I got a news flash for you, brother. I got a news flash for you. So that's a part of life. That's a part of life. Things are not going to go our way. It's not going to be this walk that we walk in Christ is not a flowery bed of ease. We're going to be disappointed. We're going to be hurt. We're going to be backstabbed. We're going to be talked about. Man, I can't tell you how many times when I went through my trial, when I backslid, can I tell you the truth? It was very, 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 very few people reached out to me. Very few. Now, when you go, I'm not. This is to slight anybody, because that was my journey. But let me tell you something. When you going through things, you'll have people tell you all the time, "I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you." But very, very few people will go that extra mile, call or text or come by to see how you're doing. Now, I could classify that. If I looked at it through my corner mind, I could classify it as, oh man, ain't none of them jokers real, man. I went through, man, wasn't nobody there for me. All the good I did for people, wasn't nobody there for me. Man, ain't nobody real. Everybody in the church fake. Everybody got fake love. No. Sometimes God sends us through things and we gotta suffer alone. He will purposely not put people on your, he will purposely not put you on people's mind. He will purposely let people forget about you, because you got to walk this walk alone. Because had I had a bunch of boo-hoos and woe is me type people around me, I would have never learned the wisdom that I learned. See, what we do is we want to blame the people that did us wrong and did us dirt, and blame the circumstances as the reason why we can't move forward. No, no, no. You got to look yourself in the mirror. I got to look myself in the mirror. And when I say the mirror, I'm talking about the mirror of the word of God. We got to look at ourselves in the mirror and see where we fallen, and make the correction and move forward. The reason why you can't move forward with your life, brother, the reason why you cannot move forward with your life, sister, is one, you have not forgiven. You have not released. You have not let go. You're still holding on to what happened years ago. And I know it's hard to get over. That molestation was hard. It's hard to get over. You can't get over that overnight. It takes more than prayer. Sometimes it takes seeking help. It takes counseling. Being raped is not something you can just get over overnight. Say, "Oh, I raped. I forgive the person that raped me." I'm not saying that it's easy. It's not. When somebody violates you like that. But what I am saying is, if you let God work in you and you dedicate yourself to that word, when God begins to bring you to this point in your life, to this crossroad, and say, "Okay, now it's time to deal with this, because I want to teach you forgiveness so you can move to the higher height. You can move to the next level." It's not easy. It's not easy when people take advantage of you financially. Let's be honest. Let's call a spade, man. Some of us feel some kind of way when you loan somebody $20 and they ain't paid you back. You looking at them all crazy now. Don't and here it is now. 6 months went by, they ain't paid you your $20 yet. Oh, you ready? Hey, nah, man. So can you imagine what if somebody took 2,000 or 5,000 or 6,000? That's hard. That's hard. That's a hard debt to forgive, ain't it? It's hard to forgive a person that take money from that done took from you. That's hard. And I'm not saying that it's easy, but if we're gonna walk this walk in Christ, sooner or later you gotta jump that hurdle. You gotta forgive. Man, listen, I'll tell you a testimony. I I invested with somebody at one point in time. And I invested around $1,100. And things didn't go as we planned. And the person was supposed to pay me back the investment. 1 month turned to two, turned to three, turned to four, turned to five, turned to six, turned to almost a year. To the point where when I saw this person, I started feeling this anger in my heart. Like, you know you owe me. You know you owe me. And you don't want to pay me. Like, you really want me to go back there with you. Now listen, I'm in church. I'm trying to get back to God. But every time I see this person, I'm feeling some kind of way. Until one day I heard a message from my pastor, my former pastor. He was talking about letting things go. And it was a Wednesday night service, and it pricked my heart. So I went to that person later on, and God spoke to me and told me, forgive them of the debt. And when he spoke to me and told me that, my flesh was like, nah, man, I could use that $1,100. Let's be honest, man. I don't know about you. $1,100 may not mean nothing to you, but to me, $1,100 is $1,100. You know what I'm saying? But what God said to me was, think of all the times, all the debt that you owe me, and I forgave you of it. You owe it to me to forgive this person. And I went to them and I said, you know what? Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it. With a smile on my face, said, man, I forgive you of that debt. Don't even worry about it. Because I don't want it to come in between me and you. And when I said it, I meant it. See, a lot of us are saying, or we're telling people, I forgive you, but we don't mean it. We just say, oh, the Bible says I gotta forgive what I'm gonna forgive. Or we'll say this right here, I'm gonna forgive you this time. I'm gonna forgive you this time. No, no. You forgive a person every time because God forgives us. What's that we say in the Lord's Prayer? Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Ain't just talking about financially. Some of us are debtors spiritually. Some of us are debtors mentally, emotionally. Emotional damage. Yeah. Some of us are damaged, man, because we cannot forgive. And when we don't forgive, we take on this spirit of unforgiveness, and we take on this spirit of resentfulness. We take on this spirit of bitterness. You ever seen bitter people when they get older? I mean, have you ever seen a real bitter person when they get older? I don't know about y'all, but I've never really seen a really good looking bitter older person. They always hunched over, got this look on their face, always mean all the time. Oh, lips droop down like that. Because when we take on that spirit contorts us to fit itself. And eventually you start looking on the outside how you are on the inside. Just as mean as that unforgiveness spirit is on the inside, we become just as mean on the outside. So how long are we going to keep going through this cycle? How long are we going to have that dead body handcuffed to us, dragging that dead weight around because we can't let go, dragging dead weight around for 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 6 months ago? We dragging that dead body around, dragging that dead weight around. Can't move forward. And here's the kicker: because you got people connected to you. Your husband is connected, your wife is connected, your children are connected to you. Now everybody gotta pull that dead weight with them. Everybody gotta walk on eggshells. Everybody walking on eggshells in the house because we don't want to set daddy off. We don't want to set mama off. Because when that spirit lashes out, it ain't gonna just lash out at the person that did you wrong. It's gonna start lashing out at people that you love and care about. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know this. Man, I was an unforgiving. I used to be an unforgiving person, man. I used to be a real unforgiving person. And you know what happened? My wife felt the effects of that. My children felt the effects of that. It made my home a very, very, very unpleasant place. Everybody walking on eggshells because I'm walking around and I'm frustrated all the time, flustered because of I can't get over what somebody else did to me, and everybody else got to pay the price for it. When it's easy, it's a lot. You can enjoy life a lot better if we learn to let go and release. So what is it? What is the dead bird on your line? You ever notice like when a dead bird is on the line, it can cause a power shortage or a power outage. And so the thing about it is, if you're praying and you're trying to get a hold to God and you need God to do something for you, and He's not doing it, what is the dead bird on the line? What's the shortage? What's the outage? Who have I not forgiven? Who have I not let go of? What situation am I still holding on to? Some of us, or for some of us, we're angry with God because why you allow this person to hurt me? Why you allow this person to leave me? Why you let my loved one die and abandon me? Why you let my ex-wife divorce me? Why you let my ex-husband divorce me? Why you let this person abuse me? If you're all powerful, if you're all knowing and you can do anything, why you let this happen to me? Because everything that God allows to happen in our life is a teachable moment. Some things God allow because the enemy knows the hand of God is on your life. So he tries to jump ahead of God and destroy you before you can even come into the knowledge of your salvation in Christ. Hence, a lot of times when you get these kids that are abused growing up, misused growing up, or sexually molested growing up, spirit of perversion done jumped on them because a lot of them got the hand of God on their life, and the enemy see the hand of God on their life. So he tries to kill it off. He tries to detour them before they even get started. That's one thing. Then you got situations that happen in our life is because of seeds that we have planted. That's another topic we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about the sowing and reaping because a lot of us are reaping things that we've sown, but we forget the seeds that we plant. We forget how we treat people. We forget how we do people. And then when the harvest come up, we want everybody to hold our hand and have a candlelight visual for us and feel sorry for us because of things we done did, seeds we done sown that we done forgot about, words that we have spoken to people. Let me tell you something about words, man. Once you speak a word to somebody, that word you can't reel that back. Once you speak that word out your mouth, it's out there. It's out there, man. We have to be more mindful of how we treat people. We have to be more mindful of what we say in our anger, in times of anger and frustration. We have to be more mindful because we keep sowing stuff into the ground. And here's the kicker: sometimes you won't reap it, but your children will, or your great grandchildren will. We then here's another thing that unforgiveness does. It blinds us. Like I see how I got my hand over my face. Unforgiveness blinds us, man. We can't forgive. So then we sow a seed of unforgiveness in the ground. Then you wonder why people have a hard time forgiving you. Because you're gonna reap what you sow, man. Like The Bible said, don't, and I'm paraphrasing, but it says, you that judge, you do him that judgeth doeth the same thing. Him that judgeth doeth the same thing. Like there is no I'm over here, you over there. There is no none of that. Just like it's hard for you to forgive, so the time is gonna come where you're gonna need forgiveness from somebody. Then you wonder why can't nobody forgive you. How many people you done forgave? You wonder why can't nobody talk nice to you. How many people you talk nice to? Why everybody treat me so nasty? How many people you treat nasty? Why everybody always looking at me crazy? How many people you look at crazy? See, we don't see ourselves, man. We really don't see ourselves. The Bible is true when it says that every man's ways are right in his own eyes. We always think we right, even when we're wrong. It's like that movie that 50 Cent was in called Get Rich or Die Trying. It was that part where Terrence Howard said he was trying to tell him about somebody. He was like, I'm right, man. I'm right. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right. So I'm still right. That's the mindset that we have. We right even when we wrong. And you know what happens? We never ask. When you have that type of mindset, if I have that type of mindset, you know what happens? We never ask God to forgive us. We don't. We do not. We do not. We got to get that dead bird off the line. We got to practice forgiveness. We got to practice that. We got to practice forgiveness because if we do not, you will or I will reap a harvest from that. Unforgiveness is something that you don't want to hold on to. I let a spirit in my life that took me almost 20 years to get rid of because I opened up a door and let unforgiveness come in. People paid the price for it, man. I paid a price for it. Unforgiveness and pride goes hand in hand. And that pride spirit is a whole nother deal. And we're gonna talk about that in the coming episodes, the spirit of pride. We're gonna talk, man, if God don't anoint me to talk about nothing else, I pray that He bless me to be able to talk about that spirit of pride. I pray that He anoint me for that podcast because that spirit of pride, I can tell you about that. The spirit of pride got me divorced for 3 years. 3 years, man. 3 years. Spirit of pride had me divorced for 3 years. The spirit of pride destroyed my family for 3 years, man. The spirit of pride and the spirit of unforgiveness. I'm telling you what it'll do, man. The spirit of unforgiveness and the spirit of pride opened up a door for me to start drinking. It opened up a door for me to start smoking. It opened up a door for me to walk away from God. It ate up my prayer life. It ate up my fasting dedication. It ate up everything. Spirit of unforgiveness and spirit of pride. Yeah. You think, man, I'm trying to tell you, it'll do a number on you. That spirit of unforgiveness, that spirit of pride will do a number on you. And the times that we're living in now, we cannot afford to have a spirit of unforgiveness or a spirit of pride. Can't afford it now. Do you know how bad things are getting in the world? We cannot afford it. We got to have the voice of God in this hour. We got to be able to hear His voice clearly in this hour. Just as clear as you hear me talking through this microphone, you need God and I need God to talk to us just as clear. Because our lives are at stake now. Our families are at stake now. And when you got this spirit of unforgiveness, spirit of pride, He may talk to you for a little bit, but He ain't gonna talk for long. Man, listen. 3 years I was backslidden. Three. 2 of those 3 years, the last 2 of those 3 years, I was without the voice of God, man. I was without His voice. What do you mean? I mean, one morning I woke up and the voice of God was no longer there. The presence of God was no longer there. And I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know if you ever had the presence of God or God speaking to you clearly. I don't know if you ever experienced it, but if you have, it's such a love in his voice. It's such confidence in his voice. It's such faith in his voice. And if you ever had it taken away from you, if he ever walks away from you and you don't hear that, you live a life of uncertainty. Your life becomes uncertain. Your future becomes uncertain. I lived that way for 2 years, a life of uncertainty. Man, I could tell y'all some stuff, man. I know what it's like to be messed up. I'm talking about, man, there have been times I laid in my bed and I could feel the flames of hell from the bottom of my feet rising up from my feet to my legs, to my stomach, to my chest. And it's like my body finna burst in flames. And the devil audibly speak to me. I heard the devil audibly speak to me, say, "This night, I'm taking your soul to hell." I started crying, man, and the only thing I could say the only thing that could come out of my mouth was, "Lord, don't let me be lost." Tears in my eyes, man. I'm telling you, I ain't telling y'all what I think. I'm telling y'all what I know. I'm telling y'all what that spirit of unforgiveness will do to you, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man, you get to that point where you ready to let go. You want to forgive, and the spirit won't let you forgive. It won't let you. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to not want to do something no more. And but them spirits got a hold to you because I opened up a door and let it in. Opened up a door. Man, if my wife is sleeping in the bedroom right now, but if I could, I would wake her up and bring her on this podcast and tell y'all the same man that said I stood up there and told her I loved her and I would do anything for her. When we got divorced, man, I got backslid. I got pure evil. I'm the same person that said I loved her. Man, I turned around and called her all type of bees and all that stuff, bro. Cussing her out. I'm not telling you something that I don't know. I'm telling you what I'm telling you what unforgiveness and pride will do. I'm telling you. Couldn't even love my children right because of unforgiveness and pride. Can't let stuff go. Whole life on hold. And don't think just because I'm gonna tell you what the enemy will do. He'll still let you get money. He'll still let you get things because it'll keep you blinded. Because we equate houses and cars and money with the blessings of God. Just because you got a house, a car, and some money and a nice 401k, that don't mean that you being blessed by God. You may be being blessed, but you ain't that don't mean you being blessed by God, because God ain't gonna bless us in no mess. How can he bless me if I got a spirit of pride on me? And the Bible said that he resists the proud. He resists the proud. If you show me a person with unforgiveness, I'll show you a person that's selfish. I'll show you a person that's prideful. I'll show you a person that's vindictive, and I'll show you a person that's all about themselves. You show me a person that can't forgive. How do I know? Because I was all those things. Unforgiveness does all those things to you. It does, man. God, in his grace, allowed me to come back to tell you you don't want to go down that road. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Yes, what they did to you hurts. Yes, what they did to you was horrible. And it is a fact. I'm not saying that it didn't happen. It did. What they did to you, it happened. But is it worth you losing your soul over? Even worse, is it worth you dragging your children down with you? Dragging your marriage down with you? Dragging your business? How many of us, our business is messed up because we can't let go and forgive? Our families are tore up. Our churches are tore up because we can't forgive. Can't let go and can't release. Just got to hold on to it. So you know what happens? You die with the dead body cuffed to you. So now you got two dead bodies in the grave. And some of us are dead while we're living. That's what unforgiveness does. It kills you while you're still alive. It kills your joy. It kills your peace. It kills your prosperity. Like the Bible said, I would, above all things, I wish that you would prosper and be in good health, even as that's equal to, even as your soul prospers. But you know what unforgiveness does? It'll rob you of your health. It'll give you panic attacks. Unforgiveness will. Yeah. Unforgiveness will give you heart attacks because you stressing now. Every time somebody come in your life, you watching them. Oh, what they gonna do to me? You watch, can't nobody get close to you because you keep, everybody got a hidden motive. Everybody got a hidden agenda. Man, you know how nerve-wracking that is? It's like, man, listen, it's just like when you talk about people. You talking about people behind their back. You talk about people behind their back. Then here you sitting at home and you all of a sudden now you wonder how many people talking about you behind your back. I just know they're saying something. I can feel them talking about me. How many people you don't talk about behind your back? That ain't no life to live, man. It's nerve wracking. It's the opposite of peace. It's chaos. Unforgiveness brings chaos in your life. Like, how many of us are tired? I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of it. I'm not gonna let unforgiveness reign in me another day. I'm not gonna let pride reign in me another day. And I'm gonna teach my children. You gotta teach your children how to do it. And you know how you teach them? By living it. By living it. Got to live it. Like the song used to be a song that came out back in the day called Walk It Out. You gotta walk it out. Now walk it out. You gotta walk it out, man. The first thing you got to do is ask God, Lord, help me. Teach me how to forgive. And you know what he's going to do? It ain't going to be some magical cap going to come down out the sky and rest on your head. And all of a sudden now I can forgive. No. You know what he's going to do? He's going to allow situations to come up in your life again. And he's going to give you the opportunity to practice forgiveness. That's how you learn how to forgive. That's how God answers the prayer. He's going to allow situations in your life to arise to give us the opportunity to forgive. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get it right the first time. I didn't get it right the first time, but guess what? At first, you don't succeed. Try again. Keep trying till it becomes an art. Keep trying until forgiveness becomes a way of life. Because, man, I'm trying to tell you, your next blessing or my next blessing may just depend on our power to forgive. I love you, man. That's all my time for tonight. Listen, I haven't got this hype in a long time. This is a passion of mine. This is a passion of mine. I pray that something was said to help you because I don't want you to suffer like I suffered because I couldn't learn to forgive. I want you to experience that abundant life that He wants you to have. I want it for you and I want it for your family. Until next time, this is Brother Jason. Until next Saturday. You be blessed. Also, don't forget, every Saturday at 8 p.m. on Facebook and on YouTube and on Instagram. And we're going to be going live, okay? So if you don't catch me on Instagram, you can catch me on Facebook, you can catch me on YouTube, all right? Please subscribe to the channel at youtube.com at Moments of Faith. It's on the ticker below. Until next time, this is Brother Jason, man. Y'all truly be blessed.